Welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, what I think's going to happen, my predictions. Hey, we even talk about fashion on this show because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. Well, I'm wearing the purple robe, which simply means that it has been a doozy of a week. Bit of a short week because of Thanksgiving. Now, I'm in Canada, so for those in the US, you celebrated Thanksgiving, and I really hope that you had a fantastic time. You ate as much as you could, and you know what? Just being grateful for everything that you have, to me, that's just one of the most important things out there, being grateful. So again, I hope everybody had, those again who celebrated Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful time. So we're going to get through a couple of disclaimers first, and then we're going to get into it. Because again, even though it was a short week, it was a doozy. Okay, my usual disclaimer, if you don't want to know what's going on, you'll want to get caught up on your own, this might not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And also, if I don't mention something, that means I either plumb forgot or, you know what, it just wasn't newsworthy. So it's the nature of the beast, it is what it is, and we're here to have some fun. Let's have some fun. Okay, so where should I begin? All right. There was, for scene fillers, I wouldn't even classify, Gloria, her comeback as a scene filler because I am a big Gloria fan. So to me, it was comedic relief, and that was what it is. That was what it was. Sorry. Okay, so we'll get to them, but we'll talk about Kyle and Audra and the whole Tucker Ashley craziness, okay? So again, no particular order. I will say I'm going to leave the best, like last week, for last, which is Nikki and the whole Newman family, minus Adam. Okay, so Kyle, as you know, he had already told Diane that he basically almost sold out his father as it pertains to Jabot and was going to ideally siphon Jabot away from the family so that he could, basically get top spot himself at Jabot. And what was he going to do? Leave his father penniless and poor? I don't know. But anyway, so he told Diane this, and we know this. So moving forward, or pushing forward, Diane kind of had come up with, I guess, albeit a plan for Kyle to kind of not tell Jack, but kind of stick it to Tucker in, I guess, Kyle's own way. Anyway, so Kyle basically contacts Audra saying that he's meeting up with her and he basically wants back in with the plan. So Audra's like, I'm kind of surprised that you'd contact me. I thought you were pretty much like dead set that you want nothing to do with this. And, what was the change of heart? And he's like, well, basically I had a change of heart. And, yeah, I want back in. Well, Tucker is not going to, basically kind of like buy this. And he's like, I don't really care what Tucker. All I know is I'm ready to just kind of move forward and kick my father out and get what's mine. Well, Audra, with a slightly raised eyebrow is like, interesting. Now, again, I'm not an Audra fan. You know this. She is up to her own agenda. There was maybe like a moment in time during this week where you saw, how should I say, Audra a little exposed, if you will. And what I mean by exposed, where, her little Grinch heart was kind of, beating a little bit bigger and, faster. And that had to do with Tucker. And that kind of came out of a bit of left field, but I think I may make a prediction where that's concerned. But we'll get to that. Hold me to that. Remind me. Okay. So, yes, basically Kyle is now, he went and saw Tucker, or Tucker came there. They were at the club, and Tucker's like, what makes me think that you would, go through with this? No, I think they were at the jazz lounge. But anyway, you know that all kinds of business transactions are happening out in the open, whether it's at the coffee house, at Neil's jazz lounge, the society. Like, I'm so confused as to why all these big things happen at these places, but whatever. Like, they don't have an office? Okay, just saying. So Kyle whips out some sort of recording device where he has recorded Ashley's conversation and talking about Tucker, and that basically the only way to get to Tucker and his Grinch heart is through his son. That Devon is the only one that kind of brings out the human side of Tucker. So Tucker is like, whatever, I really don't care. This means nothing to me. Like, whoopity doo. And he's like, well, this just goes to show you like how far I'd go. Like, that I basically, could sell out my aunt, that kind of thing. So, and whether you trust me or you don't, you're just going to have to trust me. But all I'm going to tell you is don't screw with me, because that's not what you want to do. Okay, Kyle. Don't screw with Kyle Abbott. What? Okay, pushing right along. So Kyle ends up going back home and tells Diane that, plan is in motion and whatnot. Okay, Kyle, outside of your attire, which I just love a guy when he's wearing a nice turtleneck and a nice suit jacket, that's just me. So he was on point where that was concerned. And even Tucker, him and his little turtleneck, that, you go Tucker. But anyway, other than that, Kyle, like, really? So you're like the big dog now? I ain't buying it. So I don't know. I can't even say that as much as there's this pseudo plan, I can't say for sure in my mind that Kyle is really, truly on the up and up, that he doesn't want to siphon Jabot out. I want to say that he is, but he's so shady, anything's possible. All right. Moving right along. Tucker, as you know, it's Thanksgiving, which is why it was a shorter week. So they, on the show, were celebrating Thanksgiving. Tucker ends up telling Audra, how about we go upstairs? Again, yes, they were at Neil's Jazz Lounge. So let's go upstairs. And she's like, oh, Tucker. And he's like, look, I was just going to offer to buy you a burger and a bourbon. A B&B, a burger and a bourbon. Okay, Tucker. He's like, get your mind out of the gutter. Like, ugh. So she's like, oh, okay. So the two of them, their Thanksgiving dinner is a burger and French fries, which I have never, ever, ever seen anybody eat at the club. I've never seen anybody. Yeah, I'd like a burger, please. You see them with like little salad and like a whatever entree they have, but burger and fries? Is that the kiddie menu? Okay. So they're having burger and fries, and Audra brings up something to do with business. Tucker's like, "Look, I don't want to talk about business. Like, now's not the time." And then he basically this is where Audra's little Grinch heart starts to pump a little faster and a little bit larger. And he's like, I just don't see what you see in Kyle, and he's just not your style, and I think that you and I would have been like great together, and what. So all of a sudden, her whole demeanor changes, like bum bum ba, and she's like, uh, dare I say, she looked a little pale. I dare say she may have wanted to have like a trickle come down her eye because nobody has ever been this sweet and pudding pie with her. And it almost sounded like he would have proposed at some point in time. He grabs her hand and, yeah, I like you're stunningly beautiful and what, and she's just like, I'm melting. I'm melting. Ah! Yeah. So anyway, they get I guess Ashley had come in at that point in time, and so that whole portion of their little, you know, Grinch to Grinch heart kind of fizzled out because Ashley had come in. Half a step back, Ashley had told Jack and Diane that she wanted to invite Tucker to Thanksgiving dinner at the Abbotts. And Jack was like, no, absolutely not. And Diane, again, her facial feature, expression that cracks me up. Ashley, I gotta agree with Jack. No, this is not good. So she's like, Jack, what's it gonna hurt with just, one drink? And, for him to come with Devon and, just share a drink on Thanksgiving. Like, I don't see the harm in this. And he's like, look, Thanksgiving is for family. Like, he's an ass. Well, Ashley was dead set that she was going to see Tucker at some point for Thanksgiving, and she was going to get her drinky drink on with Tucker. And she's like, look here, Jack, if you don't want him here, I am going to go to Tucker. Simple as that. What? You're going to leave like Thanksgiving for that guy? What? And she's like, yes, I know, whatever, but I just don't see the harm. Okay, Ashley, put it this way. I know you still got the hots for Tucker. I know this because no matter what you say, all of your, your movements dictate that you still have the hots for this guy. And whether Tucker still has the hots for you, that's up in the air. I think he's trying to suppress that because, again, back, 2 weeks ago when he was like on the brick outside of society, like, you really did some damage to poor Tucker's little Grinch heart. Like, Ashley, I don't know. So again, she eventually leaves and she's like, bye guys, I'll see you later for dinner. So she ends up at the club, and even though Tucker kind of wanted to discount her, he eventually crumbled and they had their little drinky drink. Meanwhile, back at the Abbotts, um, who was it? Well, it was Kyle was there. Like again, it was the host of Abbotts minus Abby. And so Kyle was speaking with Billy. Actually, Billy ended up talking to Kyle and says, "Oh, so I hear you chose to take the COO position, and that's quite a change of heart." And he's like, "Well, yeah, no, I decided it's not so bad after all, and yeah, it's okay." And Billy with his raised eyebrow, I was like, "Oh, interesting." Side note: at some point in time, Billy's shirt, the buttons were like down to here. I swear he was like John Travolta. Like, why was his shirt so low? Oh my gosh. I was like, wardrobe, wardrobe, do up a button. I'm almost seeing his navel. This is crazy. Again, happened so quick. You may have missed it, but I caught it. Okay. So, yeah, at some point in time, Tracy was like, "Jack, we hungry. We can't wait any longer. We want to eat." And because Ashley wasn't back. So, Jack's like, "Yeah, I know. Like, basically, we can't wait any longer," that kind of thing. Chelsea was there. I really don't know why she was there. I know Billy must have invited her. She really didn't serve a purpose. She had a few lines here and there. She was not a scene filler. She was a spot filler. And, like, maybe it would have looked weird with one less person. So, you know, casting said, just throw Chelsea in there. She didn't really serve a purpose. Talking about Connor and, oh, look at this picture. Whatever. She didn't need to be there. She just didn't need to be there. Moving on to Gloria and who was it? Gloria is like the Baldwin Fisher clan. So Gloria, Michael, Kevin, Chloe, Lauren, and with a side plate of Abby for a hot second. So basically, Abby, which side note, her outfit was on point. Yep. That all white outfit with those long pants, though they were like a bit of a flare at the bottom. I ain't got nothing bad to say about it. The entire outfit was on point. So, yes, stylist, yes. Lauren's dress, kind of liked it. It was okay. Loved the color on her. I don't know. I might have fixie pooed a couple of things, but overall, I'll still give it an 8.5 out of 10. Gloria's outfit, what can I say? I love sequins. She looked great with that green. It was beautiful, great on her skin tone. I loved everything about it. Chloe's outfit, generally speaking, Chloe dresses nicely. It is what it is. It was nice to see Kevin back for the episode. I really hope he comes back for a few spots. And of course, it was nice to see Gloria. I think she's back. But regardless, even if she's not back fully, can you just bring her back here and there for comedic relief? That would be so great. Because right now we're holding on with like threads with Tucker and Phyllis and yeah, and Adam. So Tucker, Phyllis, Adam with a side bit of Ashley from time to time. Yeah, because the rest of them are kind of, womp womp womp, average, mediocre when it comes to like funny ha 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 moments. Alrighty, so they're back at society. They're at society for some Thanksgiving dinner. Abby agreed to let them have their dinner there, but she had to bounce because she had to go to back to Devon with Devon at Lily's place, and it was going to be a whole like winter's clan of people. And yeah, so what cracked me up is she's like, I let the staff go for the night. So everything's in warmers in the back, so you're gonna have to serve yourself and you're gonna have to serve your own drinks. Oh. Now, I actually have, this is me. I actually have a bartending license and I am Smart Serve certified. However, you guys can serve your own drinks without any sort of. What? I have no idea. I don't know what it's like in the US when it comes to stuff like that, but I want to think you have to have some sort of license in order to be able to serve, that you can't just willy-nilly. But I digress. I was just like, oh, okay, you're just gonna have to serve your own drinks. So Michael and Kevin are behind the desk, and oh, ding. Anyway, and Gloria was like, what do you mean I have to serve my own food? When I owned and Michael was like, shut it up. Shut it up. So anyway, we come to find out as to why Gloria was in trouble. She ended up having an affair with some sort of diplomat, if you will, and she got caught by the wife, and it ended up being the husband who turned her in. So she was in this, albeit jail or prison, and Michael had to get her out based on allegedly mistaken identity, even though Gloria very well did it. And she ends up saying that while she was on her way out, she ended up taking a couple pairs of shoes from the wife and another piece, a garment. Was it a coat or something? I can't remember what she said. I was like, oh, Gloria. Like the whole story just seemed like odd, but the fact is, this is Gloria we're talking about here, so anything is possible. And it was just a nice feel-good moment with the whole Baldwin Fisher clan. Again, whether it showed in an episode or it didn't, it not necessarily had to be there, but I was glad it was there because it was still nice to see these characters back, even if it was for one time. So, yay Gloria, yay Kevin. Glad that you guys were there. And Gloria, again, you always make me laugh. Always, always, always. Keep it up. Okay, so we ended up, I'm going to pause for a second and talk about the fact that they had, now again, I don't know how it showed for you, but they had an episode from A Blast from the Past, which, if anybody caught, I'm hoping it was the same episode for everybody, but it had Victor from back in the day with, what was it? Douglas. I say old chap. Douglas. And they showed Eve Howard, and yeah, and Victoria, the original Victoria, like when she was older, if you will, and then the very young Nicholas, and this would have been when Nikki, at the time when she was pregnant with Jack's baby, and they were together, they were married. So I hope that everybody had that same episode, but it was nice to see. And Ryan was on there with Nina and Gina at Gina's place. It was cute. But if anybody caught on, this would have been like, the pre to, what was going to happen at the end of the week. So the fact that they, put Eve on there, that kind of gives you like an idea of what was going to happen. Okay. So we're not going to get into the save the best for last yet, because again, that was a piece of craziness. All right, so we're going to talk about Devon and Abby, that whole Winters clan, and Aunt Meme, who, by the way, was just a swigging that drink. She had, was it wine or it was in a champagne glass. It wasn't a wine goblet. It was a champagne glass. She's just swigging this thing around. I was like, Mamie, be careful. You're gonna swig that thing right out of the glass. And she just was talking about family, and it was so great to have the family together, and blah blah blah. Well, the family wanted to talk business, like what's going on with Tucker. And she's like, well, we're not going to talk about business this evening because this is a time for family. And then at some point in time, she brings up Tucker's name and she's like, oh, I said I wasn't going to talk about business. Well, you did. Nobody else didn't. They didn't do it. So then she proceeds to, she said, well, since everybody is staring at me, okay. So she basically says to everybody that the reason why Tucker was doing all this stuff, if you will, was because he has never been okay with the fact that the company got in Jill's hands. And he feels that the rightful, person to have the company is Devon, So he's done all this for Devon. Well, didn't Devon look like he got caught as like a deer in headlights? Because he's like, so you're saying that he did this like all for me? Like what? So he's trying to push Jill out? And so he's like, well, we're going to have to warn Jill. And Lily's like, look, Jill already had an idea that this is, so this is not anything new with where Jill's concerned. So I don't know. And he's like, well, Mamie, can you tell us like what's his next move and whatnot? And that kind of ended there. And, Abby looked like she was the fifth wheel because, what she got to do with anything. And, at least she looked good in her outfit. Just saying. So we kind of left that at that. Okay, we're going to talk about... I don't want to, but I have to. We're going to talk about Sally Spectra and Adam Newman. I told you. I said it. I said it. That they were going to somehow get back together. I already said that they were going to end up dipsy-doodling, which they already have. And yeah, now. Before I continue, I don't want to forget what my prediction was. My prediction was that Tucker and Audra will end up somehow gunshot wedding. Ash is going to get jealous It's going to be a whole big to do. And yeah, I feel like that could possibly come down the pipeline. Again, my prediction may not come true. I just feel like Audra's little Grinch heart just might go down that road. Okay, I digress. Back to Sally and Adam. Okay, so Adam had just had words with Nathaniel, Slaminate, and Sally comes down the stairs and sees, exit stage right. Neil, Nate goes out the door, the revolving door of the club, and Adam's there, and she's like, "Wow, you just like don't get along with nobody. Like, what's that all about?" And he's like, Nate doesn't like me, but no, he really doesn't like. He really doesn't like me. Okay, like whatever. So I'm just gonna put it out there, Sally. You and I, we can't be friends because no, you did Nick dirty because you had feelings for Adam. You should have been honest with him from jump, but you weren't. Nick, sorry. It was never gonna work out. I wanted it to. I really did, but we all know. Well, we all should know it was never gonna work out. Um, she always had a candle, a torch burning for Adam, and she was fooling herself. Yeah, no, Sally, we're not girlfriends anymore. Sorry, we can't. Mano a mano, we can't do this anymore. So I'm breaking up with you. We're not, forget it. Because now you're sitting back telling Adam that you don't regret the fact that you guys dipsy doodled together. You don't regret, you just you wanted it to happen. Like you're all over the map. And Adam is just like, well, I hope you don't have any regrets because I know I don't. I'm glad that it happened. And she's like, yeah, there was never any hate between the two of us. It was just like, I don't know. And I'm thinking, you're not making much sense. But whatever. So for whatever reason, in like 2 twos, she's like, we're gonna basically have a date. So they just go over to a table and they're having like drinks. Anyway, at some point in time, Adam is chuntering on and he mentions about, I guess, Connor. And he's going on about his child, not remembering that she lost Ava, their child. And he was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That was very insensitive of me. Whatever, whatever. And she's like, Adam, it's okay. I'm really not that fragile. Da 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 da. And she's like, I'm really not hungry anymore. And yeah, I'm just going to go upstairs and yeah. And we can have, I promise you, we'll have an actual date and whatever. So he's like, can I walk you to your room? She's like, no. Because if you walk me to my room, bad things happen. And, Well, it's because you don't have any self-control, Sally. Sorry. You don't have any self-control. And then he's like, well, can I at least walk you to the stairs? That shouldn't be too dangerous. She's like, yeah, you can walk me to the stairs. What happens? Walks her to the stairs. They have their little, few words, whatnot, whatnot. And then she leans in and kisses him. Sally, what? What are you doing? I'm so disappointed. Nicholas, just go be with Sharon. Ride off into the sunset. Adam, go with Sally. You guys ride off into the opposite sunset and just be done with it because, Sally, I wash my hands. whatever. Not that I don't like Adam, but the way he did you dirty with, he was so mean to you. Even if he was trying to pretend, he was doing a really like bang up job and just knocking you down a few pegs. So you must know, I wash my hands. I'm done. Okay, so let's get to the good part. And this is what I reserve the purple robe for. The whole Newman fiasco. All right, so let's backtrack just a trifle. Victoria is at Newman, and basically, she was looking at her phone. She wanted to, I guess, contact Nate, but she didn't. Out from the elevator pops Claire, and she's like, "Oh, Mrs. Newman," and she's like, "Look, what are you doing here? I thought you were off like Midwest with my mom." And she's like, "Yeah, I just came to get some work." Pardon? I just came to pick up some work, but something's happened to your mother. Wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, no, that just did. Victoria, how did you not see through this? How? Okay, we're talking about Victoria again. She can't see the forest through the trees. It is what it is where she's concerned. So, I guess I get it. So Claire's like, yeah, something happened to her, blah, blah, blah. Victoria runs into the office. Victor's sitting there, again, doing pretty much nothing. And she's like, Dad, something's happened with Mom. He said, what are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, well, and Claire follows behind. Yeah, she had a seizure or something like that. And so Victor, leans back in his chair and he's like, you need to get the jet ready. I'll be leaving shortly. Okay, fast forward. Victoria's like, we'll pick up Nick along the way. Pick up Nick along the way. So off they go. Before you know it, back to this Midwest house, if you will, where Claire originally was with Nikki. At the ending of whichever episode, we see Cole Howard come back. Okay, Cole, you just gingerly walk into somebody's house just because you claim that, I'm at the place that you told me that, to go, that whatever. And, oh, by the way, I'm in like a strange house that I have no idea why I'm here. If that ain't a horror story waiting to happen, I don't know. If it was me, I ain't going in. Just saying. But he's just like having his, I don't know whose house this is. He's on the phone leaving a message, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So before you know it, Aunt Jordan, she comes out from who knows where with a hammer and pops Cole upside the head. Now, I'm sorry. If somebody knocked me with a hammer, wouldn't I be bleeding profusely? Like, this guy's just like, and he falls down on the floor. His hair is a bit tousled, but that's about it. And I gotta say, this Aunt Jordan has got some strength on her because she's able to get rid of bodies so easily. What? Okay, so we find she has now knocked him silly. He's out cold. Cold. You like that, didn't you? Okay, so he's knocked out cold. She's obviously toddled him somewhere. And got rid of the evidence with the hammer. And she has made her way up to where Nikki is. By the way, Nikki, as I said, full-fledged alcoholic again because sh Jordan, ideally, has been giving her alcohol intravenously, and so she's been consistently drunk. Now, I'm not laughing over the alcoholism because I know that that's a real thing and I'm very sensitive to that. But I was just like, wow, in Soapland, this could happen? Like the amount of alcohol that she has been giving her, unless it's on like a really super duper slow drip, like she should have been like comatose at least. But I digress. Okay, so Nikki had ended up with some water, the water that is safe, and she's looking at the bottle of vodka, going back and forth, trembling, saying, why are they doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And, whatever she said. And then she's like, it's a disease. I never wanted to feel like this ever again. And eventually she says she's going to go and pour this thing down the sink. But she ends up taking a huge swig of it, and she's instantly upset at herself. And then next thing you know, she's out of the washroom with the bottle of vodka. She drops this thing to the floor. By the way, she's barefoot. How she didn't, again, bleed and cut herself with, it was a huge bottle of vodka. Like, whoa. And by the way, who cleaned that up, come to think of it? Because Jordan was in there at some point in time. But anyway, so she's back on the bed, trembling. What have I done? She's crying, the whole 9 yards. And boy, she looks a hot mess. Whoa. Anyway, so Jordan basically is like standing over top of her bed. Nikki's like, Claire, you're not Claire? Now, Jordan's like, you can just call me Jordan. Why are you doing this to me? Oh, you've done this to yourself. Whatever. Nikki had seen a picture that I guess was under the pillow of Eve. And she's like, Eve? Like, what? So Jordan's like, you really shouldn't pull out your IV. Like, you need to stay hydrated. This time, pan over to Nikki's hand, and she's already started another IV drip with this vodka. Okay. Well, down the stairs, Claire comes in with, again, Victor, Nick, and Victoria. This is where it goes like completely off. And they're having their little conversation, where's your aunt? She's like, oh, I don't know where she is. She said she'd be here, da da da. Jordan comes down the stairs eventually with a sling on her arm, because she allegedly hurt herself, right? And then Victor is like, what's going on? Where's my wife? At some point in time, I guess just prior to that, Claire offers the three of them bottled water, which just so happens to be sitting right there. Like, there was bottles of water. I want to say there was 4, but just sitting there. What? And all of a sudden, Nick's like, yeah, I'll take the water. So all 3 of them get water. I've never seen Nick so thirsty. And Victoria, they're like guzzling this thing back. Boy, that must have been some sweet tasting water because I've never seen you do that. Okay, I can't even tell you I saw Victor drinking the water, but I guess he did. So at some point in time, they're having their conversation, and Victor is like, I want to see my wife, like right now. And whatever, Jordan takes off her sling and says, you ain't going nowhere, and Nikki's not in no hospital, and we're going to get down to the truth. And it was all over the map. So he's like, what is going on here? And Nick, and on his chest, Nick is like, what's going on here? Like, what is what is this? Okay, Nick, I'm not the writer here, but you're not in a good situation. It's just not a good situation. So Jordan says basic to Victor, do I look familiar to you? Nope, never seen you a day in my life. So, something in the eyes, Victor. I was like, okay, whatever. Nope, sorry. Not at all. So then she proceeds to say that she's Eve Howard's sister. And he's like, what? And he's like, she was deranged, and she never told me that she had a sister. We were estranged at that point. Okay, so now, what's your whole MO, Jordan? You just want a piece of the Newman pie here? I'm confused. So Victor's like, look, enough of this foolishness. I'm going to go see my wife. And she's like, you ain't going nowhere. All the doors and windows are triple locked. Pardon? What do you mean they're triple locked? How are you going to get outside? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Okay. So she's like, yeah, I'm just going to watch. Claire and I are just going to watch you die because that's what you deserve. You're an awful man, and you just toss people aside that don't serve your purpose, and blah, blah, blah. And at some point in time, Claire, who is ideally at this point like Wonder Woman with this like super strength, she goes and she brings Cole out. He looked a mess. His hair was all over the board. And how it ends is basically she's like, Victoria's like, Cole? What the hell? And Victor is like, Cole Howard? And then she's like, yeah, this is Claire. We all had to be here. You all had to be here. And then she's like, what? And she says, isn't that right, mother? Dum, dum, dum. Quite the conundrum. Because, yes, we knew from back in the day, if you watched, that Cole and Victoria had a baby. But the baby died. Well, the way it is now, she didn't die. And you see them back and forth, and you kind of see where there could be, in theory, a resemblance. Oh, I'm telling you, that whole thing was hysterical, because Jordan basically said, you guys are going to die. You ain't got much time to live because you all drank the water with the poison that's in there, and yeah, y'all are going to basically have heart attacks and die. Did you give Cole any water? Because there was a fourth bottle of water I'm pretty sure I saw. And did he have any of the water? Did you chug some down his throat? I'm a little confused. But 'tis what it is. So that was pretty much the entire week. We missed a day because they just didn't have anything showing. Again, don't know if you all had anything. We had an older episode on Wednesday, nothing on Thursday, and then the Friday. So there you have it, folks. That was the week. I had quite a number of jokes, and I really can't wait till this coming week. So if you stuck around to the end of the video, I'm so grateful. I really appreciate your time as usual. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, we're going to see what bumpy ride is going to happen this coming week. And as usual, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so kind if you could hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell notifications so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. It would really help my channel out. And of course, if you like, share, share, share. Why? Because sharing is caring. At least I like to think so. So again, it's been a blast. I wish you all well. And again, happy Thanksgiving again. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.